For this video, I'm going to do something heinous, and that is play Tribunal Control. When I was playing Blue Week last week, I got a lot of people who were saying, I really dislike playing against Tribunal. And so I thought that since you guys hate it so much, I would play it because it's the best of both worlds. If I win with the deck, you get to see some wins, and if I lose, you can cheer against me. So we're going to play what I call the Natural Sleep Aid Control Tribunal because one way or the other, somebody's going to fall asleep. As always, deck code will be in the video description if you do want to be a villain and play this on the ladder. But we're going to go do this 2 games, win or lose, and as I said before, you guys will hopefully be happy one way or the other. I personally, I'm rooting for wins. Yeah, I know, it makes me the bad guy as well, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Don't worry, I've got some palette cleansers planned. This week is going to be a bit of both worlds. We're going to have some villainous decks showcased, along with some less villainous decks. So I figured that this was a good one to follow up with after yesterday's video, which was a really cool combo deck, and we got to do the combo. So today we get to be the villain. Tomorrow we'll do something fun, and you know, so on and so forth, kind of throughout the week. That's the plan anyway. Now we're up against Guild Sworn, which could be control, could be aggro, could be mid-range, could be a prophecy deck. Really, it can be whatever it wants to be. Which is, in many ways, true of Tribunal as well, but... Oh no! That is not good for us. Moment. Oh, alright, never mind. That is terrible. Immediately if there's any card as Control Tribunal that makes you panic, it's probably this, right? It's gotta be Moment of Clarity, because this just says, oh, by the way, actually, you know what, let's just do this right out of the gate, because we already know the power of Galen shuffling, right? The power of Galen shuffling. But if we see this, we know this is Unite the Houses. It's gotta be. This is 100% like they're trying to unite the houses against us. How dare they? So we're gonna shift. We are no longer the control deck here. We are the aggressor. We are not built for this. But it's not the end of this. Alright, well, we made them use a green card here, actually. That's not half bad for us, all things considered. I think we do this. Try to set up our value trade. But if we can kill this and we made them use this early, that could be pretty good for us. Unless they just have a crazy hand already. But when you see Moment of Clarity, you think Unite the Houses. Now we could be wrong. That could just be bait. It could just be traditional Guild Sworn Control, but they're baiting us. But nonetheless, we are shifting to become the aggressor here. And we do have some tools for this, right? We've got a lot of big bodies, Phalanx, Thadden, all that jazz. But this is a non-Alfique Tribunal. I will throw that caveat out there, right? There are versions of Control Tribunal that also still run Alfique Conjurer because of the threat that it provides. I opted for the more traditional Snorefest. Do I really want to use an Edict here? I kind of feel like I want to use an Edict here, because they are really close on their colors already. I can't believe I'm about to Edict this, but this is the world that we're living in. This is how terrified of Unite the Houses you need to be. Because, like, no joke, they were an endurance card away. Yeah, and here's another Moment of Clarity. They were an endurance card away from pulling it off already. So, sometimes you just have to Edict a Guild Sworn Apprentice. quality play by them. Slows down our aggressive nature. The Marak's basically a dead card. But we are not in a great spot. This is a bad matchup traditionally for Control Tribunal. Now, if we had more of our beef, we could be racing them, in my opinion, much better. Hive Defender, Emperor's Blade, like, give it to us. Odiving, actually quite hilarious, all things considered. Iron's gonna get us back some removal, so that's good. For a midnight stroll. I think that's the way that we want to go here. We'll save the Necromancer for now. I don't think we want to use the Edict there quite yet. Let's go ahead and do this as well. Again, we're just playing threats and pushing damage at this point. This has the potential to be quite hilarious because of the breakthrough. Pulling Odiving from an Apex Wolf is usually like the sort of thing you feel great about, but we have to survive that long. Oh yeah, they're running arrest. They're running the full thing. So we have to be careful in that regard as well. Only gave them access to one extra color though, and it was one they already had, so that kind of helps. So they do now get the discounted actions, which is a bit of an issue. Phalanx or Necromancer. Necromancer's really still not generating us a ton of value, so. A couple of turns away from our Marak and Odiving plays. Trading this in does give them the shackle, does not deny them any colors. We do not know yet what they got with their second moment of clarity. So that's always terrifying.
Speak, citizen.
Watch this.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
So, we're gonna push our damage, and then we have some decisions to make here. Because on the one hand, like, they're gonna use Apex Wolf to trade into this and gain a bunch of health. Now we could Edict that, but on the other hand, like, Maraking this makes the most sense, but we're still a turn away from that. Necromancer is still kind of garbage. I think that our plays are just gonna be this here, and play the Dark Guardian. Now, Rapid Shot or whatever still lets them cycle and trade, and obviously this still represents damage, but it is what it is.
Ita.
Even though it's permanently shackled, there is an argument to be made about Maraking that if they don't play any creatures here. Alright, so that's the way they're going to do it.
Perhaps we can help one another.
Alright, alright. I think we want to take the Magister more than anything here. So we can trade this.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
And I think we want to split them to play around Dawn's Wrath. So that feels pretty good. Gives us, again, beefy threats as they try to stall. Now we're in that situation where we want them to not have Unite, but play small things so that we can get an Odiving blowout victory. Instead, they're just going to Dawn's Wrath over there and cast on the other side. Okay. Respectable. Get it. Go ahead and see what this gets us. Negation. Alright, not bad. I kind of almost want this to die. I mean, the two things on board are the things that we would want with this the most. I think that's just the reality. Just not in a great spot to push damage here. It's times like this that I wish that I ran one copy of the Night Mother. You could start donating them targets for the old Odiving. But it's always such like a niche scenario, right? okay. So that eats the Dawn's Wrath. That also gives them access to their natural colors. So we need that moment of clarity to be semi-subpar. Oh, okay. So they've now went up to Alaneth. So at this point, they're going to find something. So we have to assume at all times they have the Unite if they didn't already have it. Like now it's just a guarantee, right? But they're taking a long time to search here, which tells me they already had Unite. So this is going to be finding something else. Oh no. Alright, so we're going to take that trade.
Rise, my servant.
So that we can bring it back. Bring it right back. Develop this over here. And then see what we can do. Little concerned, all things considered.
I will end you.
Oof. All their bodies are so big, I can't get the breakthrough damage in with the old Odaving here. Oh, my kingdom for...
Behold my power.
For a Unite to have already been in their discard pile. We're going to play this Piercing Twilight. Like, that's a given. I think that our best bet is to hit Guildsworn Apprentice, just because that gives them access to the most colors naturally. Though I expect that they probably have one of those in hand as well, but I think that's the way that we got to go. This is just going to be eaten by the Manticora, but it still represents damage. Because it's going to be eaten by that as well, but Odaving kills that, where at least here, that'll take 4, so then that means Odaving would be representing like 3 damage.
At the ready.
If this trades here, then that's another 3 damage, potentially, except we're going to put that down so it won't trade. Yeah, that's still fine. Let's do this. So in this instance, I think Apprentice makes the most sense. Oh, he did hit all 3. Okay. So again, a shame they didn't have a Unite there, but also we already know, it's like guaranteed they've just got one in hand, so. We're trying to get ourselves into a position where we can get them low enough to just win with a surprise Odaving.
You're going to
Alright, we take that trade there. This is going to hit Necromancer. Oh no, our Necromancer's still there. So what are they going to hit now? Oh, my own Piercing Twilights. Gotcha.
We must protect our stronghold.
That's annoying. Another moment of clarity. That's so bad. They have all of their natural colors. They're still missing Endurance and Green. So I don't want them gaining health. So if this is down to 1 and we hit this, this is down to 1. Odaving represents 3, 6, 8, 9 at that point. So we would need to find like a lightning bolt. Or an Encano or something. I mean, we could slap down Hive Defender, but then... I mean, maybe they just trade the Manticore. That gets rid of at least their only yellow source. I think we just wait. I think we're just going to have to accept that Odahviing will not be a victory, but we'll play it next turn to clear the board and push a bunch of damage, and then they at least have to answer it.
Beware my power.
That's their own Laneth. Oh man. Oh man. There's so many good things we could do here. I mean, we have to get the colors off the board, right? We have to make it hard for him. So I think it's Odahviing here. And then pray that their Laneth survives, and then we could Abner it for a lightning bolt. I think this is the play.
You must prove your mastery.
Oh my gosh. That's not a good sign if they threw those in hand. I mean, unless they... Maybe those were like javelins or something and they already have the answer. At this point, again, we just need them to, A, not unite on our face. They've played 2 Laneths now, a couple of Moment of Clarities. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's entirely fine. Okay. We are gonna pull it off.
I will not be on the wrong side of history.
We're gonna pull it off, gang. Laneth copied, bolt acquired, victory secured. Odahviing didn't do the final damage himself, but represented quite a bit of burst there. That is game 1 against a very tough matchup for Control Tribunal. You don't, I think, understand how scary it is to play against Unite the Houses, because most of the time your card set is useless, absolutely useless. But we got the victory, and on that note, we're going to jump into game 2. As I said, it's 2 games, win or lose. Making them use the Strider early, I think, helped a lot. That was a green source that they could have held on to, and now we're up against Tribunal, so this is not a great hand, but we'll keep it. This is likely a mirror. In the mirror, this is a pretty bad hand. But I got a feeling we're just going to stare at each other for a bit.
I smell the stench.
So
of the
I am of
living.
the opinion that in the mirror, being at least somewhat aggressive is beneficial. The idea that you don't want to give your opponent's cards and control mirrors like this, I think, is mostly incorrect, because
Wrong place for a midnight
you
stroll.
like you're just gonna stare at each other forever. You know what I mean? So this is such a problem, because anytime this happens, like, you just know that they're gonna draw 6/6 whatevers at this point. But like you just can't expect that you're going to fully attrition your opponent to death, right? Like, you focus on controlling the board as best you can, but like, if you think you're gonna run your other Control Tribunal opponent out of cards, you're probably wrong. I think being aggressive makes sense. Would be nice if we had a better hand to be aggressive with. And we have this iron here, but that's just a 5/5 for 5 at this point. So we'll wait.
At the ready.
Oh, now you show up, Mr. Gourmet. We're fine if they trade and give us another card again. I think being aggressive is correct in the mirror, so contesting this to slow them down.
Go no further.
Yep, not unexpected. They gain some health. Ugh.
Gall and pox.
Low rolled. Feels so bad, man.
By the 8th, they will meet their makers.
Alright. At least we get some value out of our gourmet here.
By the 8th, they
Wow.
will meet their makers.
Daggerfall is also what they shuffled. Interesting. That's very interesting. Alright, well. This one's just gonna eat here.
I smell the stench.
And we'll, I guess,
of the
save this
living.
so that you can be a pseudo Manticora next turn. I like running these. I'm running a pair in here. I like running these because they are kind of like your moose. They get the tome anyway. I was trying to shut down that tome value, but... Well, I need at least one of these to die before I can twilight it, so we'll do this. And then that gives us the twilight value. I'm really surprised they slammed that on Daggerfall. They must not run Necromancer or something. Galen on Necromancer in a mirror like this is
Out upon
pretty important. It's okay. And then they also hit that. Wow, and they're not even saving them for my Necros. This is... Either they have a bunch of them, or this is just ballsy play. I'm not even angry, I'm just impressed. So the Sill's a good pickup. We still... For being Control Tribunal, we are still struggling 100% to find actions for Iron to bring back. Alright, so we gotta make sure that we hit them all here. No! Yes, yes. Because the 2 5/5s are the ones still in the deck. One of the 5/5s was one of the ones that we killed. I also want to use this one on this, but we gotta kill it first, so... Perhaps this is a good time for our first Necro. Onto what? Dark Guardian, Harpy. Harpy makes the most sense. But I kind of like Dark Guardian.
Rise, my servant.
Yeah, let's take the Dark Guardian. I mean, we just want to get rid of that so we can eat it as well. And we'd like to do that next turn, setting up a Sotha Sill, and the following turn. This will just eat Dawn's Wrath.
Will
But...
always count to the people's
Okay.
Behold the tribunal's
Arch Cannon, that means this survives the value trade. Also... Probably just gain a bunch of health at this point. Not much stopping them. So now the question is, do they have removal for this? They do not, so we can still get this in here. I like this.
Behold my
So this-
power.
It's actually better if we storm this for a number of reasons. But also, it's our first action. We can finally bring something back with Iron. But we're also going to take this value trade first. And even though we would like to play Iron here, doing this and potentially shutting off their own much bigger deal, I think, in my opinion. That is going to be the full 3. So I think, honestly, I think that we're in a pretty good spot. They didn't Galen Necromancer, and we got rid of the Daggerfalls in that regard. And then we also hit their Twilights with ours, so... maybe we do play this for attrition. If we can keep our health total high.
Important things on my
If
mind.
we keep playing bombs, it's a bit of an issue. But if we can keep our health total high here,
The 3.
I guess that's one way to answer, right? If you want to go toe-to-toe, bomb for bomb.
I have many important things on my mind.
Guess that's one way to do it. Just wish we had something else to pair with it this time. I actually think this is likely an archcannon turn. Right? So what we actually want to do...
Ancestors bless us.
Let's go ahead and get that channeled storm back. We finally get some iron value
The
here.
tribunal will always count.
Let's go ahead and get this exalt.
Hold the tribunal's floor.
And I think we want to give the draining guard actually here.
We'll see about this.
Like, I could gain health myself, but at the moment I'm not really as concerned with it. So Ice Storm pretty effective against our board. Ice Storm plus like some damage spell full clears, but at least we make them use it. Oh, that's okay. Could take the negation there and spot remove this. They're still not in a terrible spot. We picked up another Twilight. That's our last Twilight. It's worth noting.
Holding on to anything interesting?
Those are not what I like to see. Have to wait for them to get stuff back, so I really hope they didn't find something else absolutely amazing there. Let's push some damage, and I think we just take the Leoneth play here. I'm actually a pretty big fan of this because there's a lot of good stuff left in our deck, but knowing that they're out of Piercing Twilights and knowing this couldn't get one because our final one was in hand, I'm a big fan of going to get Galen here and using it on our own Necro. Now, you could theoretically use it on Sotha Sil here as well. Pretty big argument to be made there. But if you use it on this, then future Necros can bring this back and then copy Sotha Sil, right? So I think this still goes to Necro almost every time. Putting this on Necro also means future Necros let us bring back Piercing Twilight to further deal with those threats. I could see a real argument for Sotha Sil though, right? The idea like they just don't have enough Dawn's Wraths to deal with that is potentially reasonable. It's a pretty good top deck for us.
You cannot hope to outrun this.
Always a bit scary as well. Now again, you could say, hey, well, you know what? I think for 1 damage we'll cool it. I was gonna say you could say, hey, don't break runes here, but I think 1 damage is not worth giving them the free rune here. In the future though, we're not afraid to hit face in this matchup. We'd like to see them Dawn's Wrath this. We need to bait. Alright, well.
They'll never get the best of us.
Repel the Outlanders.
By the light of the three.
Couple of different options here. This is hitting for 7 right now, by the way. It's a shame that we don't have a way to get 1 more damage in. A real shame. The option that makes the most sense is to just jam Sotha Sil and force them to respond, even if they Dawn's Wrath and they also blow up their own. You could also argue for Necromancer to slow things down. But I really feel like Sotha Sil here makes the most sense.
I am a mirror. Nothing more. Knowledge to achieve perfection.
Just kind of answer tit for tat. You know, they can take the trade and then spot removal this. That is certainly an option. We don't have a good answer, so we had to do something to stall and buy time. I guess you could maybe also argue like Nahagleeb's fine there, but If they're thinking about doing something there, that could very well be like Odiving. Odiving would be pretty rough. Wordcrafter also legit. They're doing that because they don't want to break a rune and give me cards, right? So even though it puts the damage here, which is nice for us. Oh lord! They had the Marak! The Marak attack! Oh no! We have no Ice Storms and no Dawn's Wraths yet. Oh, that's so funny. And by funny, I mean horrendous for us. It was maybe the only card that we couldn't actually deal with very well. Like, even if they played Odiving, we had lines of play. But being able to like trade, survive, play the Marak, bravo, opponent. Like, extra bravo. We know we have to get rid of at least one Sothasil. Our Necromancer options aren't great at the moment. There's some guards, but they're kind of not big enough to get the job done. Did not top deck. Silences. You know, for a deck that's running Dawn's Wraths and Javelins and Edicts, you wouldn't know it, you know?
Rise, my servant.
Guess we're just gonna have to do something like this to slow them down a bit.
They'll never compel the Outlanders.
Probably shouldn't have taken that trade for them, actually. I probably should have just left them there and let them trade back. Should have just taken the shackles. And the reason for that is because it would have at least forced this to likely trade into something. Right? One of these, where now they don't necessarily need to. They can trade and trade, and this can just sit here. But if I would have left the other two up, I could have got an extra card out of it. So that was probably a misplay. Timer got me flustered. Double Sothasil got me flustered. A lot of back and forth. I thought we were in a really good spot. I think that we definitely outplayed them early. With regard to our Piercing Twilights, I think were better. And I think that the Galen choice was better. But their Marak was a much larger impact, and following it up with Abner, like, they're just hitting all of the best cards that you could want here, all of the power cards. Drain here helps them stabilize. They will have to give me a card though. But I don't think it's gonna matter. We've still seen no Dawn's Wraths.
Let me pick your pocket.
All right, that's huge. No Dawn's Wraths. No Ice Storms. That's our first Javelin.
May the ancestors bless us.
Alright, that is a pretty legitimate Necromancer, because that can get back like Ancano or Marak. Oh, Marak. Oh, Marak attack. That's actually a pretty big deal. Question is, which of the 8/8s do we want to Marak? Because technically this one's an 8/5, but I think getting rid of that one makes the most sense. We can't trade into this one though. We would need more damage. So I think we actually do take this one. Take the value trade. And then just plop another Phalanx over here. We know they have a Javelin, though. They can eat a guard. I think we just lose even still, right? Like, even with getting that, I think it's not enough.
Rise, my servant.
We'll never get ground.
Hold my
Yeah, I think we lose this either way. They've got the javelin for our guard, and then they can just simply follow that up with swinging, and if we don't hit basically a prophecy to hit the 8-5, we just lose, right? So, and we hit no prophecy. So that is game. Wow. I think we did everything right, except for maybe you could argue playing my Marak was a bit early, right? At the time, it looked like it was the right top deck, but, you know, it's a good game nonetheless. I don't think we win that without Dawn's Wrath, man. Dawn's Wrath eluded us. Ice Storm eluded us, and I feel like I let you guys down. And here's why I let you down. We won the first game, so you know, good if you want me to win, bad if you want to see Tribunal lose. But then, when it mattered most, you can't even root for me to lose because the deck I lost to was Tribunal. So I really feel like I let you down in that last game. But there's nothing I can do about it now. So if you made it this far, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.